Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. And we are celebrating our legends right here, Jersey, baby. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media. Jersey, you know I love you. Jersey, you know we got bars and we got music and we got legends all day. And if you believe in Jersey and you love Jersey like I do, support that Heritage Hip Hop on all social media platforms. This is Redman and I approve this message.
Peace and blessings to everybody tonight that's tuning into the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Unbeknownst to everybody else, there are podcasts that cater to New Jersey hip hop, and today I have someone who comes from the Midwest that wanted to join some of this Jersey hip hop culture. Fresh off of the Requiem project with Len-Dor and DJ K7ng, we have one of the MCs from the project who not only showed the world he can rhyme, but now he's telling the world his story. Introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, man, I go by, you know what I'm saying, Requiem, artist out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, conscious hip hop artist. And, my purpose is just to bring, and unite people together through giving them the right information. Which is
That's what it's all about. That's hip hop, man. Hip hop has always been about putting the world on notice to let the world know we got something to say, and damn it, we gonna say it. You know what I mean? So let's catch up with everybody to certain things. How you been since the group project, and what has changed since you put out that music?
Oh man, I got to get wisdom, personally gain chemistry, from working as a team, as a unit, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely gained that and just apply, the knowledge, the gems and the things like that I got from that project and just brought it to me where I'm at now.
All right. Everybody out there watching this, make sure you hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop. If you're on Instagram, salute to you. What's going on, everyone? Join us on the YouTube page. Shout out to Len-Dor. He on the YouTube page. Join us on the YouTube so we can talk. Also, we're gonna have a part of the interview where you get to ask him questions. So make sure you're tuned in because I want you to add in on this too. So Facebook, Instagram, go to Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube. Now, let's talk about this project, the Golden Era, Golden Age. Talk to me. What defines the Golden Age to you, and why did you pick that for this album?
Well, the Golden Age was just the time of hip hop. I looked at it was one of my favorite times. Well, I went specifically in the 90s, but some people go to about like that 88 range, and they start from right there. So I just wanted to recreate, my favorite time of hip hop. And I thought it would be dope to not necessarily, put actual names as titles for the album cover. So I wanted to go through it and make it, the exact years of the 90s. So that's what I did through my perspective.
Nah, it's real creative because the 90s is the most pivotal and most essential era in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Like the Golden Age for anybody will be whenever they found their man or womanhood and they started to grow in the world and music became synonymous to their life. But the 90s in particular is the growth of the culture. What's some of the most standout parts of the night? I mean, you say you were born in 92.
Yeah.
What's some of the most important and pivotal points of 90s hip hop that affected you, even though you had to grow up to appreciate it?
Definitely, the passing of Biggie and Tupac, first and foremost, that was a big thing, even, as being like a kid around that time. But that was, some of my favorite times, as far as that I remember or that I pretty much go back on was, when Nas had that run with, Illmatic. I thought that album was crazy. And, Wu-Tang, I was very Wu-Tang influenced. I thought what Wu-Tang was doing was impeccable too in that time period.
One of the most impactful things that happened in the 90s unfortunately you weren't around for, was when the late, rest in peace, Reverend Calvin Butts and C. Dolores Tucker went to war against hip hop. And when they did, they bought people's CDs, talked about how nasty the lyrics were. And they took bulldozers and trucks and they bought all these people's CDs and ran them over in the street as a statement to censor what people had to say because they did not like the lyrics, calling black women hoes, bitches, and stuff, and nigga this, nigga that, and killing and violence. That gave birth to a whole new hatred of hip hop and a whole new rebellion of hip hop.
Right.
I want to ask you something. How has the rebellion of hip hop taught you how to appreciate life? And how has the rebellion of hip hop actually taught you how to appreciate yourself?
Uh, First and foremost, and I guess I'm coming more so from an artist perspective, but I would just say, man, it's a way for you to be able to express and really put down, what you truly go through. Because sometimes, a person might not necessarily be able to express in a way. So, they do these creative things through their arts, their talents, and things of that nature. So it definitely, provided a space for me to really be able to do something that I love and express, the things that I might necessarily go through and put that out there to the world is something that can be able to help somebody that's going through a similar situation or circumstance.
Yeah, hip hop is that ever growing, omnipresent thing that is just incredible because we always focus on the music. And of course, the music is paramount, it's the first thing. But as a culture, there was so many things that went on in the 90s. We had the protest, money being put into the music to where deals and having a deal was big. Most of people's goats nowadays came out in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, the 90s brought in a lot of prolific thought, writing, and entertainment outside of the music. How has hip hop outside of music made you grow and made you look at the world and take you to another place of learning or appreciation of the art itself?
Uh, you know what? Like I would say it gave me the confidence to be creative because going back and hearing some of the greats that's graced hip hop, to be able to have the confidence to do it yourself and like, oh, okay, if this person has done that, that person done that, it gave me the confidence to realize like, well, hey, I can make something happen with my story and my situation. So I thank hip hop for giving me that confidence and just a platform to be able to also be able to help somebody else out through your experiences. So I appreciate that from hip hop.
Yeah,
So,
man. The 90s is a beautiful time, man. I mean,
uh,
we got to see the rise of Allen Iverson.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Which
sir.
is hip hop and sports.
Exactly.
Shout out to Michael Vick.
Yep.
We had TV shows. Martin was the first hip hop
Mhm.
romantic sitcom. We
Yes,
had
sir.
a different world, part of the
Yeah.
Cosby Show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Len-Dor. He just popped in. Say what's up.
Peace.
And another part of hip hop that we got was conscious music, where the music was about edutainment and learning, not just beats and rhymes.
Right.
And you say you're a conscious rhymer. So what is the world not conscious of that you think music can heal them from?
Ooh. Um, well, that's a great question. I would say for the most part, this is just coming from my perspective now. Like, as far as like the things that you putting into your body, like when it pertains to like food, I feel like that aspect could be highlighted in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? More because it is if you're not aware of what you're putting into your body, you could definitely uh, be in a situation where you can be hurting yourself. You could be polluting your vessel. So I think them being more aware of just food consumption and having knowledge of food would be great for hip hop.
We got to a very important part of the podcast, everybody, called Let's Build, where the artist says something so profound in the interview that now we got to focus on something they said. You're talking about ingesting. Now, the most dangerous way to poison the body is not what you attack it with, is what's put inside of it. Mm-hmm. And hip hop has been put in a situation where it's being attacked from the outside and inside at the same time. Yes. How does the music protect it from being destroyed from the inside, in your opinion?
Can you repeat that, please?
Hip hop is coming to a point where it's getting attacked from outside the culture and inside the culture.
Absolutely.
You know, ingesting. How can the music help protect hip hop from being destroyed from the inside?
I feel like by having some gatekeepers in hip hop, having gatekeepers, that can help, because I feel like, you know, the agenda of hip hop hasn't necessarily been like morals or integrity as far as like when it pertains to our culture. So I feel like having some gatekeepers in there and then highlighting, you know, the things that's really uplifting people and making sure that that's put on the scale to where that looks cool. That can definitely be highlighted in hip hop for sure.
See, whenever we talk about gatekeepers, people get real tense about that, because you have people who gatekeep for the positive and people who gatekeep for the negative. What's a positive gatekeep to you, and how can we institute that in hip hop so it's healthy and it's positive for the people who know that it exists to the fighting against it?
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. I feel like it could be healthy, you know, by having it, just for the simple fact if you have a healthy gatekeeping and you're highlighting, you know the things that's important as far as like the stuff that's healing, the stuff that, you know, uplifts people, instead of like putting a focal point on destruction and the kill music and all the poisons, you know, that's being thrown at the people. You make that known and take that out of the culture, and it's a situation where you addressed it and you had the right people in those situations, it could be real beneficial for sure for hip hop.
I like that. Yo, shout out to everybody checking in the check-in. Shout out to Len-Dor. He said we also had Alpha in the 90s. That is funny. Hanging with Mr. Cooper was hip hop influence. Yes, it was. And Notes 82 said, what's up? Shout out to everybody checking in. Hey, if you're checking us on Instagram, you're checking us on Facebook, come to the YouTube page. If you're on Instagram, put your comments in and let's have a good time tonight. So we're talking about the influence of the 90s and what the 90s gave us. But you know one thing? The 90s celebrated the art and the integrity of the mind of our people. I miss shows like A Different World. But in today's hip hop, I appreciate shows like Grownish, because then we got to see the evolution of it to know that it existed and it's still there. Is there something in the 90s that you see that's still here, that evolved as you studied and went through hip hop, and makes you appreciate what you do that much more?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for the most part, you know, the rhyme patterns and storytelling, you know, that all come from the 90s. And with certain MCs that's conscious and that really come from that cloth and that's a student of hip hop, they would tell you the same. They would be like, yo, you know, that stuff's still around. And that's what I enjoyed about it. I even enjoyed the look, you know, culturally, how everything was set up, you know what I'm saying, to represent hip hop in the 90s.
I love how diverse hip hop was in the 90s. Like, shout out to DJ K7ng. He said New York Undercover was another big show. Yes, they broke artists on a TV show, not only on the radio. And I'm a preschool teacher, right? Yep. And right now I'm teaching the kids about how to make music. So I taught them the first instrument is your mouth, it's your body. And I showed them the Fat Boys, Dougie Fresh and Biz Marquee. My kids were beatboxing because they liked this so much, right?
Right.
And then we're talking about instruments. Now, of course, people could talk about the turntable and all the other stuff. My kids like the xylophone, so I showed them KMD Peach Fuzz. That's the piece of MF Doom, right? And because of hip hop in the 90s, we were able to have images of instruments, clothing, certain parts of religion, beliefs, to show that we're not all one thing, but we are a great collective entity when we come together. What do you miss about that in the 90s? And do you see it coming back in today's hip hop?
That's a great question, and I definitely just miss like to me the '90s. I feel like during that time period it was focal pointed on definitely having the skill. Having the skill combination of being competitive, being an MC, and lyrics really matter. So I definitely miss that aspect of it, and I want hip hop to get back to it where it's at a competitive state and making it fun for the fans.
You don't think it's competitive now? I mean, everybody
Uh,
gonna talk about Kendrick and Drake, but how you feel about the Joey Badass songs and the
I like
responses
Joy.
coming from that?
I like Joy. I feel like it's healthy for the culture. I like that he ain't trying to go with the programming. I love it. I love it. I think somebody got to respond. That's what I think.
I want to ask you a very 90s. Nah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the the interview because it's gonna be really dope. But
Yeah.
but because you inspired some of these questions that I got, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I could tell you about like Mick Jenkins and Joey Badass and people writing about the culture, beef hip hop or competition hip hop will always be part of the fabric. And the 90s gave us one of the most deadliest beefs of all time. But competition wise, they gave us some of the best hip hop we've had born out of the 80s.
Yeah.
As an MC, who's the hardest person to compete with, yourself or another artist? And why?
That's a great question. I would say yourself for sure, because that's the only person you really should be competing with, coming from my standpoint. So yeah, you learn from yourself. So after yourself, man, I feel like you should have it figured out after that point.
Len-Dor said, I miss the innovations of clothing and lyrical content with passion. Even the commercials back then was heavily influenced by hip hop. One of my favorite commercials in the 90s was the Voltron commercial with Sprite, where they had the different MCs in the Voltron. They became the big giant robot and they had to fight the monster. And I also remember the Five Deadly Venoms with Angie Martinez and Mia X. They had people from other coasts and everything. And Roxanne Shante was like the one of them, and Lynn Collins was the sensei. Like that was integrity and art when it came to the 90s. You know what integrity and art today now is? Technology. Do you think technology has hurt hip hop culture? Not the music, the culture. Do you think technology has hurt the culture? And why do you have your answer? Why do you feel such?
I think it has somewhat. I think it got its pluses and it got its negatives too. I feel like it allow people to be lazy for sure, instead of more so going out into an environment where you can meet people and greet people and things of that nature. I feel like technology is definitely making people lazier, but I feel like it also give people more of a platform to put themselves out, because you can do so much on the phone. So if you use it to your advantage, I don't feel like it can hurt you in that way.
Isn't it funny though that all these artists who have great reputations are going back to the 90s style of music releases? Like for you, and I want you to get there, I'll put the blessings of God on you. That, some people have 10-year careers, they have a great fan base, and they go totally independent and they move that way. 10 albums in, 8 albums in, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like could you imagine what it would be like if Kendrick's on he got his own label. But if like Kendrick went totally independent and only sold to people through his website, like how big that would be. Or imagine if artists went on tour again and they went to the mom and pops if they exist anymore, or the malls if they exist anymore, because
Right.
America is going through economic shambles. But imagine them popping up in the hood and just selling CDs, and you get to interact with the people. Being that that's coming back, is that part of the goal of the artist now? Not only to have music to stream, but to Is it the artist's goal to touch the people and interact with the people too? Do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I feel like that's hip hop, and I feel like people get to know you a little bit better by those interactions, and you never know who you could have inspired or life you could have changed through you writing those songs. So I definitely feel like that's an avenue for sure that needs to be going back to.
And I remember they said technology killed God. Because through technology, people were like seeding the clouds to make it rain. Now we got people with drones. They call them aliens. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on where technology has become the new living life form that is contradictory to an artist's soul. Do you think AI hurts hip hop, and why do you think so?
Yeah, like from the aspect of who wants to listen to some AI music? I don't know, not me, but I don't want to listen to anything AI. But when I look at like something like Chat GPT, using that to your advantage, I can say that could be a positive. But I definitely don't see AI as just being a positive for hip hop and for people in the long run. So I would say it hurts. Yeah.
You never heard any AI songs that you like?
I probably have and didn't know. It's possible I could.
You never heard I saw a Santa Claus sniffing cocaine?
No, I never heard that.
That's one of my favorite songs. It is totally AI, yo. I saw Santa Claus sniffing cocaine. That's one of my favorite Christmas songs from now on, yo.
Hey, I'm gonna listen to that, bro.
That song is fire. You know what I'm saying? Check your pH balance, baby. That's another one. I like that one too, yo. I mean, AI has been used in a way where it took some of the influence of the 90s and made it robotic, and I hate that. I hate like when the 90s we had Cedar's World, BT, that was a computer-generated chick who introduced videos. Then we had an AI rapper who was signed to a label, and the person who was doing the music didn't get paid, and he got pissed and sued the label, and something derogatory came out, and it was crazy. You remember that?
No,
that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Then now we have AI where people are getting AI album covers. We got AI flyers. We got AI everything. And AI has been integrated to the point where now it's a living module, or it's becoming a living module that affects the art. What's the one part of hip hop you think AI can never capture and it protects itself from the AI usage?
The artists, I feel like because at the end of the day, people are going to be able to make real interactions, and it's not the same as having an AI interaction that you would have with really impacting somebody in person. Is different. You know what I'm saying? The connection you get. So I feel like it'd never, be able to stop what the artists are doing, the stories, the feeling, and everything that the artist is giving to the people.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to the end of the Let's Build section of the Heritage Hip Hop podcast interview with Rakim. How we doing so far, bro? How we doing?
Man, all is well, man.
Shout out
on your end, bro.
Shout out to the Milwaukee Brewers. I see that hat. You know what I mean? So, everybody out there, thank you for joining us. We're gonna go to a quick commercial. I think let's reshuffle the deck. When we come back with Rakim, we're really going to talk about something very profound, which is the Golden Age, his album that's out right now for purchase. Now you can stream it if you like it, but if you like it and you love it, I ask that you buy it. We'll be back right after this.
Where you get your hip hop from? Yeah. What's up? This Tribal Trigger Trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Do Pray Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop, because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop right here, man. Yo, Karab, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it.
It ain't nothing like Heritage Hip Hop.
And they say hip hop podcasts don't exist in New Jersey that celebrate that Jersey hip hop. I don't know. People out here foolish, bro. Let's talk about it. Right now, we with Rock King, and we're going to talk about his album, The Golden Age. And the first single from the project is The Golden Age intro. On that intro, it seems like you was telling everybody what they're about to get into. Like you was bringing that energy. Talk about the first single and what you wanted people to get from it as they listen to your the intro or the beginning of your project.
So definitely, what's funny about that song was actually made last. It was actually the last song that I created for the project, but it turns out to be the first. But really, with that particular song, I was just letting people know, like, hop into this realm by way of portal. So like in the visual, I was actually showing portals being shown, and I was indicating that, yo, I'm taking you from this era that we are currently in into like that 90s era of hip hop through my perspective. So that's pretty much what I was doing with that particular song, letting people know to hop into this rim. We're finna go to the ride of going down my favorite era of hip hop, which was the 90s.
As a Midwest dude, though, y'all have a whole different take and story on hip hop, though. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. The 90s showed that not only that the Midwest existed, but the Midwest had various styles too. I argue with people about this all the time, but the top 5 people, in my opinion, from the West, you guys like Bone Thugs, Common, The Brat, Luda. You got that's not really 90s to me, but I count Luda. Twista, OG Legend, you know what I'm saying? And when we think about the 90s in the Midwest, it was the expansion of the culture. If I walked in your hood, how would your hood reflect the intro to that album? What portal can you open up for me to show that Milwaukee in the Midwest is just as hip hop as these other places that people are from? And I want you to explain that to the people with closed minds who don't really understand that hip hop exists everywhere, not just somewhere.
Yeah, man, I feel like, anywhere you go into like your urban cities where, we want to be creative and things of that nature, you're going to get yourself art. So, to me, hip hop came from the ghettos, from the urbanness, you know what I'm saying? From that's culture. So really, when you step into that, back into like, understanding the culture and showing the culture as being hip hop, you're going to always get a win.
You see, that's where this album works. And that's where this album finds its footing, is because when you talk about the 90s, people focus on New York or LA so hard that they forget about the other territories or what they meant. Like in the South, Ball and G, Scarface, Ghetto Boys, JT Money, one of my favorite Southern MCs from Florida. I mean, we have so much character growth in the culture by being shown the different landscapes. 1990 is one of those songs, or 90, I should say, is one of those songs that perfectly walks into that chamber. Tell us about the song 90 on the Golden Age project and what you were capturing on that track.
Man, you really when you get to the particular, like towards the second verse on that particular song, I really wanted to show, and give homage to where hip hop comes from, being in that, NY area. And really just letting people know what that looks like. So that's me visually painting it, through the lyrics, and just describing the story of how I seen hip hop from my perspective.
I don't want to go into every track on this because y'all have to buy it. Y'all have to stream it to get into it. I want y'all to buy it though. But I want to talk. I'm going to jump around to certain things on this project that are very enlightening.
No doubt.
One of my favorite songs on here was 92 Year I Was Born. Because I think that was the song that talked about who you were and who you are at the same time.
Exactly.
On this fabulous article that was written on this project on heritagehiphop.com, by the way.
Oh, big salute.
We talked about in the article how it seems like you're detailing the year you were born and how you were rebirthed at the same time. Please enlighten me on that process in the song.
Yeah, like for the most part too, I love 92. So it definitely was a rebirth, you know, me being born again, just realizing you know, we all got family, but sometimes we grow from certain situations, certain family members, certain friends, you know, some people are only put in your life for a season. So, you know, that 92 song really highlighted me just having an understanding for how things work, but also knowing that that was a special time. You know, that was actually the year I was born. And I actually got into my actual story more so in that particular song, whereas to where I would say the rest of the album is focal pointed on, you know, going into that golden age. But I was able to take that year of my story and make that, you know, my golden age, which was dope.
Isn't hip hop a badge of manhood for many Black youth or inner city children? How did you capture your manhood to be reborn to make a song like that?
Man, I would say that through you know, doing shadow work, doing certain things as far as like just focusing on healing and manifesting and things of that nature. And some people like to call that like a spiritual journey, but I just went through a time where I took time on myself, and you know, you hold yourself accountable, and you really just grow, man. You don't let, you know, certain habits maintain on you to slow you down in your journey as well. So just going through, like you said, a rebirth.
You know what my rebirth was? My rebirth came through my brother. Shout out to my brother. And he put me on Eyes on the Prize when I was a young boy. And learning about the Black Panthers, learning about Attica, learning about Ruby Bridges and the Civil Rights Movement, Fannie Lou Hamer, that made me change my perspective of thinking to where the world around me wasn't so cool anymore. With an unk around your neck, which is the symbol of life, rebirth, and balance, what opened you up to that side of life? And how does hip hop feed that desire to be full of life and not just talk about life?
Man, dope. Well, I would say what opened me up to that side was really me just going through a lot of different, having an open mind, but went through a lot of different religions, from Christianity through Hebrew Israelite, through looking at a lot of different sciences, Moorish science, Masonic, different sciences. Me just having an open mind, and that pretty much shaped me, I would say. Like going through different schools and, you know, just finding the truth for myself.
You was Kum Yasharala, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, all right. Yeah, act like I don't know.
Yeah.
You was a new moon head. Okay. I got a homie that you will really like to build with. His name is Yoetz. Yoetz Yahweh Aitaza'aim. It's called Counselor of the People. He's a Hebrew Israelite rhymer that he's my man, yo. We actually did songs together when I used to rhyme. I'm not going into that chamber with you. but yeah, like, yo, those days of finding God is paramount to finding who you are, because as a spiritual people, anything we do, and I believe this, hip hop comes from God. Hip hop does not. We have hip hop from poverty, but the influences and the inspiration of hip hop comes from the Most High. I always said that. And with the song 92, it reminded me of the prophecy of hip hop in the 90s that said one day hip hop will go underground and you will have to find it. And when you find it, you find parts of yourself that brings out the parts of you that were dormant that made you a man. Now, you said you found confidence by doing hip hop, but when you looked in the mirror and saw hip hop, what did hip hop show you about yourself that you slept on?
It showed me to really be a student of the game too, and it showed me kind of like how to discover, what it is that I like too, what was whack, and I felt like, me being me, man, I always knew what greatness looked like, and I don't know, I had a thing about greatness, so I always like studied and watched the greats, whether it was football, basketball, boxing, you know what I'm saying, and that's what it helped me find, bro. That greatness that's within self.
I want to shout out DJ K7ng, who did the production on this album.
Big salute.
And I want to say that you actually went back to the 90s with the one rapper, one producer sound. Shout out to Nas, who gave us a super producer. But this is more traditional strategic hip hop, especially nowadays, because you entrusted your sound to be built with someone to capture the essence of the 90s with their own production work. How did the beats take you back, and how did the beats push you forward in making this project monumental and succinct to you as a person and be able to tell your story?
Man, I would say it really took me back for the simple fact that those melodies just took me back to those time periods. So like hearing some of those samples that was in here and the melodies and the tunes of what, that sound like, it was easy for me to really hop into that realm and really go there lyrically as a poet and an MC.
I liked 93 Raw is Like.
Raw is Like, yes. That's
because it kind of took me back to the Nas is Like, because musically you had the callbacks to it. What is Raw like when he's on the microphone? And what is Raw like when he has a pen and he's in his own mind putting words to paper to create?
I think I'm an MC, so I think sometimes I'm in that lyrical headspace of where I'm playing with the words, trying to make the words sound as best as they can. But like when I'm really who I'm truly am, it's not even really about the bars. It's just totally about expression and expressing what needs to be said, tapping into your soul. And it's great when you got production that can help you do that too, that you really feel it, and that spark that creation of you making a possible classic.
At 95, my pops was playing West shit. And West and 95 really took us to a different style of production.
Right.
Lots of sounds, lots of Bomb Squad-esque types of music where you have the beat go this way, then the switches go this way, and the switches go this way, and your voice elevates and your voice dulls out to some of the sounds in the beat. I want to ask you about 95. What was the influence to that, and why did you attack the beat the way you did? So you met it on its level, but then you kind of drove it home with the message. Talk about that for me.
So perfect to talk about this. So I grew up on West Coast music. My dad was a huge Dr. Dre fan. So, in doing this project, I was letting Kawan know that, like, yo, I definitely need some West sounds, bro. Like, I need something that's West Coast. And, Kawan from Queens. You get what I'm saying? The New York producer. But his wife is actually from the West aspect. So she kind of helped him out. And he was going over the things, and he sent it to me, and I just feel like, in the West, I feel like it's very competitive. Not saying it's not like that in New York either, but they have like a competitiveness about wanting to be the best, and I feel like that's where that energy came from, because I approached that in in being an MC as well.
But competition sorry, competition forms in so many ways in hip hop because people are competing for ears, people are competing to be heard, people are competing for notoriety, the ego, but nobody's competing to stand strong for it. Let me paint that picture a little differently. Hip hop is so vast that people fight to be heard, but they don't fight for what they represent necessarily. You will fight to be the best MC, but you won't fight to be a role model. Because in the 90s, I'm not a role model. We had that. When conscious MCs rhyme, they're not rhyming for themselves. They're rhyming for the people who listen to them for a purpose. When you're on your podium, when you're on your soapbox, songs like 96 are a dichotomy between love for a woman and love for hip hop. Talk to me about 96 and why that soapbox that you're on is so important, not only for you to deliver the message, but for you to have your message received.
Right. So with that particular joint, I feel like that was the perfect combination of me just really being able to authentically be myself and express that on that particular track. But you know, to get a track like that, that also starts with you really having a particular vibe with the track. You really feeling it. So you know, salute to Kawan on the production aspect. And yeah, man, I just wanted to articulate, you know, with 96 how I was feeling, you know, in that moment about a special person.
Person and personified genius. Art is reflective of a man's soul, not just of the message that he tries to teach. Are you healing yourself through music?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think that's what gives me, you know, the mind state and the mentality to, you know, keep going with music and to always keep your pen going, always work on making a track because I get to heal myself. You know what I'm saying? I get to heal myself and really talk about my stories because when you think about me as an MC, Rakim as an MC, you know, it's the ego there for sure of wanting to be the best, but at the same time, you know, I know that I'm doing this thing for purpose too. So I always approach music from that standpoint, and I know by me really talking about my experiences and the things that I went through can truly help somebody to be able to grow. So I always look at it from that standpoint.
Push the envelope for me right quick.
No doubt.
Because everybody wants to rhyme, but everybody's not an artist.
Mm.
And I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion is not the Bible or gospel truth. It's just my opinion.
No doubt.
But my opinion is, with you personally, you are on the cusp of what it takes to make a message a movement. And let me tell you why. Even with songs like 98, and even how you end the album, you're not just rhyming. You're actually talking. But I feel like your speech is going far while you have people right in front of you. When you find your voice, it's a task where not only are you rhyming for entertainment, but you're rhyming for the greater purpose.
Yeah.
How do you know how to hit your fan base or your people, your listener? Because, like I said, sometimes you're preaching to the kid in the back while the man right in front of you is waiting for edification. How do you balance that when you make a song?
I think you just naturally, you know, let that play out because it's certain tracks that you might bark on. You know, you're gonna talk your shit for sure, but at the end of the day, you know, it ain't just about that. So I think being in tune with self helps me to be able to balance that, whether it may be something as simple as like meditation, prayer, exercise, and however you do it, you know, tapping into yourself, nature, whatever the way is, however you do it, though, I think that's how you're able to find that balance. And also, you know, sometimes you get inspired from other people too. Inspiration can come from so many different aspects.
Len-Dor said you have a responsibility to the conviction of the message.
Absolutely.
Yes, but also as the listener, you have the responsibility to connecting with the person talking to you.
Yeah.
If you don't get the message, you're not going to appreciate the value of the speech. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's what hip hop has become, especially with growth in the 90s. In the 80s, it was about the white lines. That was the song that introduced everybody to the inner city. The message. You know what I'm saying? It was about don't push me because I'm close to the edge, right?
Right.
But then we got the 5%ers. We got the God bodies. We got, like you said, Hebrew Israelites who are around since the 50s, 60s, Nation of Islam. We had so many ideas and ideologies that the soul of the man was being pulled in so many directions that music actually settled his heart and his creative genius to be able to project the message that was inside of his God-given body, spirit, and soul.
Absolutely.
With you healing through hip hop, what is the hardest thing you had to overcome, and what are you rhyming about so that the people don't have to fight that demon like you did?
Ooh, the hardest thing for me to overcome was really not worrying about the noise outside, really focusing on what matters, with self, what your purpose is. Because certain people may not necessarily be able to, I don't want to say chase a dream, but may not be able to actually stick with doing what their purpose is. So they can have those insecurities to where they like to project them onto other people. So for me was always just being a confident person, and that might have necessarily came from from sports. You know what I'm saying? Once you realize you're great at something, it gives you a certain confidence to withhold it within yourself, and always had that mentality to stick with what I was doing because it means something to me.
As we closed out the album on 99 and going beyond, even though the 90s is over, it's not really over because it evolved and it takes us to our next place.
Right.
I don't even care to know about the next project. I care to know about how you have evolved since you put this album out and what you look forward to when it comes to not only nurturing this baby but seeing it grow.
So I feel like I evolved just because I was able to accomplish something that I set my mind out. Like, believe it or not, like the golden age probably was created within a 2 to 3 week time span. So it just showed me that when I put my mind to something, I can do something. So I definitely gained more confidence. Grew as an MC. Feel like raised my power level up. So that's always a good thing. Someone that like me that's looking, at greatness and valuing that aspect and applying that with music. So yeah, it really helped me grow into being better for sure.
I'm happy that you made this album because personally, I'm going on a hip hop fast in February. I just want to hear nothing but conscious music for February.
No doubt.
And not because it's Black History Month, it's because sometimes you got to wipe the slate clean. And yes, because of Black History Month, because we have so many hip hop heroes that people don't talk about enough. And in the 90s, we got great conscious albums. Shout out to X-Clan and the Black Watch movement. Shout out to Public Enemy. Shout out to Paris from the West Coast. Shout out to I said X-Clan, Public Enemy, Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One of that time, Requiem. Wu-Tang Clan and the 5%ers actually gave us more of that music and that direction. So it is very important for us to, as much as we try to tell kids about the history, and we always go back to Martin Luther King, respect to the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we should also celebrate our greats within the culture that fought for our ears and our minds in the 90s. And shout out to Dead Prez, yo. We got to give those artists some shine as well. So being that I respect that part of hip hop, now it's time for you to stand on your square. Tell everybody You got 30 seconds. Tell everybody why they should get this album and what this album project means to them. Ready and go.
You should get this project because it's art, because it's Rakim, and you know, I'm somebody that represent the culture. I represent hip hop, and if you love the '90s era of hip hop, I'm taking you through the time machine and giving you my favorite era of hip hop. You should get that because rhymes really matter, lyrics matter, and I represent that.
And that's all I gotta say about that. Because at the end of the day, you gotta recognize that hip hop is bigger than just that was hot. If it really is a culture and it embodies a lifestyle, it really should be about your life and how you've evolved and grown with it, not just went through it. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So let's go. Project versus project. The Healing Tape versus the Golden Age.
Oh,
What's the difference and how are you different on each project?
I think the Healing Tape is it's more so. I think you get more so of me in the Healing Tape, even though it's shorter. And the reason being is because you know, I wasn't focused on a particular era, but to me, the Healing Tape is a classic. Man, it's hard to compare them, album versus EP, but you know, I got respect for them both though. They both pivotal. I feel like I will say this though. I feel like the golden age is definitely taking me places from that album.
Both projects are for everybody. But at what stage of a person's development would you recommend the Healing Tape versus the Golden Age and vice versa?
Okay, so the Healing Tape more so I'll recommend that to somebody that's really looking to go through like a healing journey because I feel like that's what I was doing at that time. By creating that music that I was creating from you know, on the Healing Tape, that was allowing me to heal. So I would definitely give that to somebody that's going through like a spiritual journey or some type of healing journey because I feel like that would be the project to listen to for sure.
See? Project versus project. Both projects are available on Rakim's Bandcamp out. So right now. So you can go get both projects and also the Requiem, which I don't want to leave. We did a Requiem interview already, so I didn't want to focus on that.
No doubt.
That's what see also I didn't put it in project versus project. But now we get to play Choose Your Topic. I got all new stuff for you. See, you ain't used to this. Choose your topic. Here are the 3 topics. Competition, 90s MCs, 90s albums. You pick. Which one do you want?
Let's do 90s MCs. Let's do 90s MCs.
Okay. Who was a better rapper in their prime, Cannabis or Jadakiss?
Oh shit. Damn. Oh my God. That's tough, man. That one tough. I'm gonna take Kiss, man. I'm gonna go with Kiss.
Why?
Just because I feel like Kiss is more modern, and then that may be particularly for my taste wise, but like Cannabis was well structured. I feel like Kiss had more you know, punchlines of what I would say a moderate MC of today more so looks like, where I really feel like Cannabis fits the aspect of a traditional 90s MC though. But personally, I'm just going Kiss because just style for style preference. Kiss was more of my speed.
We talked about the evolution. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But that's just me though. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might have a different outtake.
On that, we're gonna keep going. We talked about how the 90s evolved, and we sit to see how lyrically the game changed from the 90s to the present, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pick your MC. Sean Price versus Conway, the Machine.
I'm not too familiar with Sean Price. I got to get more educated on Sean Price, so I can't. I'm gonna skip that one.
He tapped out, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna skip that one.
We tapping right now.
He said he tapped.
Okay.
Oh man.
Last one on choose your. We talking about MCs right now. Who is the greatest MC in your opinion from the Midwest? Who's the greatest disappointment from the Midwest to you? No disrespect to anybody.
Damn. I might go Lupe. Was the biggest probably my favorite Midwest MC, but biggest disappointment, man. In my mind, you familiar with you familiar with Cal, Cuckoo Cal.
Yeah.
My
projects.
Yeah, in my projects, I would have liked to see him have more of a solidified career, because I feel like that song that you just named was big time for Cal too. So that would probably be my disappointment. It's Cal.
With today's game, he would have had a longer career because the internet would have had. He would never have got shut down by the industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he would have had more music out for sure. Because I didn't see his album till like 10 years after that song came out.
Oh, word?
I never seen his project.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not even in the store. I saw the single maybe once. And that's distribution from the label. And I think that's foul. Yeah. Shout out to Len-Dor, by the way. He said Sean Price over Conway. And DJ K7ng said Sean P all day. So yeah, we got some things to talk about when it comes to the 90s. So ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for following Rock King. Tell them how they can follow you and get in touch with that music.
No doubt. So it's Rock King on everything, whether you on social media, whether you on the streams, man, and that's spelled RA space K7ng, just like that.
So you know what time it is, right?
No doubt what time it is, man.
It's time for the rapid fire questions.
No doubt.
We do not have this is not a yes-no conversation. This is the depth of knowledge of this man, hip-hop, and we ask for you to leave questions in the comment box that you would like for him to answer. Sorry, everybody, I'm doing this with a cold tonight, and my drugs are wearing off. So I'm starting to call. So rapid fire questions, you know how this goes. So I already asked you a bunch of those questions in the last interview, and I always come up with new questions for the next interview. And some of them I actually put into your choose your topic. So you did half of them already. Here's another one. What is your top 5 most impactful projects to you from the 90s?
Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, 36 Chambers, Doggy Style. That's 4, right?
Yep.
And All Eyes on Me.
That's the double CD, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the few people in the world who don't think that's a classic. You think that's a classic?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he had the West Coast sound. That was a classic.
All right, I didn't get it. I missed it. I guess. No, I don't.
Like, and this is what I will say about it, though. Yep. I don't feel like it was his more conscious content of pop, but I still feel like sound wise, it definitely marks that for me.
That's what's up.
He said he don't like that.
I never thought that was a classic. That's just my opinion, you know.
No doubt.
I mean, like Me Against the World is that one. That one is bananas.
That's the one. Illuminati.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
cool. Yeah, I like the one we had with Dash, First the Bomb and all that. I like that one, you know. But the double CD, nah. Shout out to the Block, my group on Saturday, Twitter, 2:30 p.m. on Twitter. You can find us live. We talked about that Tupac album when I was the guy getting the mad tomatoes thrown at him in the chat because I didn't think I still don't think it's a classic album. To me, I can't ride with that one. DJ K7ng says Strictly for My Niggas is my favorite pop album. All right, holla if you hear me. Hey, that's what's up. No, but All Eyes on Me don't do it for me. What's the most slept on albums in the 90s you think people should revisit to understand and appreciate your project better?
Ooh, the most slept on. Oh, you know what? I would say I think it was the I Am Ready joint by Nas.
Which one? I Am?
Yeah.
I Am?
No, the one after that.
Nostradamus?
Nah. Was it I Am? It might have been I Am. I might be tripping on the title, but yeah, I Am for sure.
That's what Nas is like on it. New York State of Mind too. Okay.
Yeah, New York State of Mind too.
That's the most slept on?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up a 90s album, and I want you to tell me what you think about it.
Okay.
KRS-One, Return of the Boom Bap.
That mug was dope. I listened to a lot of KRS-One. And to me, the reason why KRS-One is dope is he definitely able to hop into that bag and really just expressing himself as an MC. Like, you know what I'm saying? It come off natural, blunt, raw. You know what I'm saying? It may be grimy too sometime, but he able to hop into that bag of really expressing himself as an MC.
That's very East Coast centric. What about MC Breed? Ain't No Future in Your Friend. Tell me about that.
You said who now?
MC Breed.
Oh, I gotta go do my homework. Man. See, he looks at me crazy. Yeah, I gotta do my homework. For sure.
You know MC Breed?
MC Breed. I probably done heard certain things. I just don't remember it to the max. You know
He's from Flint, Michigan. He was used to roll with Pac. MC Breed was a very, very pivotal artist.
No doubt.
Unfortunately, his life was cut short. Not due to murder or anything. I think he died of a health issue. But MC Breed, Ain't No Future in Your Friend. Check that song out. That's one of the ones.
Okay.
Let's do somebody different. Do or Die.
Okay.
Do or Die.
No doubt.
Talk me about him.
You said Do or Die, like, oh, you was saying like what, like an album, like what was you saying? I didn't hear that.
That's another group that came from the 90s. Well, I think it's very slept on from the Midwest. You know about Do or Die?
I ain't too in tune. I don't remember Do or Die like that. I don't remember Do or Die. Looking at me crazy. I'm for real though. I don't remember Do or Die. I probably done heard like one of they main joints, but I don't remember them like that, bro.
No, it's all good, and that's the point of this conversation because when we talk about the 90s, I want people to know that the 90s is so rich with regions that you can't get bored when you study the 90s. It's one of the most pivotal eras in hip hop.
That's a fact.
You know, from 88 to like 96. And then from 90 to 99. 90 to 99 was 3 different eras. Like, like you know what I'm saying? The 90s was crazy. You know, we were introduced to Snoop in like what, 90? Mm-hmm. Then we got Illmatic in like 93, 94. Like
94, yeah.
And 94 is one of the most spiritual years in hip hop history. You can do your homework on that one. I don't even want to touch that one. Y'all got any questions in the comments? DJ K7ng said Poverty's Paradise didn't get love. That's Naughty by Nature. Shout out to Naughty by Nature. But the greatest producers of all time, KG. I talked about enough. You know what I'm saying? You had the 90s produced by DJ K7ng. Is there a 90s producer that you would like to work with that you think could get your sound just as nice as K7ng did?
Ooh. Man, like if I could go on a time machine, man, I'd love to work with Dilla. I feel like Dilla had that heat.
Dilla is the man who changed the game. They say he's the Quincy Jones of hip hop, and unfortunately, his life was cut short. So, rest in peace to J Dilla. Donuts out everywhere. If you don't know donuts, you stupid. So, I'm just put that out there.
I like Premier too, though, man.
Like what?
My second. If I was giving you a part 2, I love Premier too.
Primo? Yeah. Okay. Primo's cool. Yeah. You know who I like to hear you rhyme with?
Who that is, bro?
The Hieroglyphics, yo. I would like for you to rhyme with the Hyros. Their production is great. Yo. Shout out to the Hyros. And with DJ K7ng gave you a lot of sound. He gave you some grit. 96, he gave you some melody. K7ng is really producing on there. He's doing his thing. I mean,
he was, man.
K7ng was doing his thing. And I would never say limit yourself. I would say you've opened the door to your potential. Now walk out of the door with your accomplishment. And that's how I feel about you personally as an artist. I'm waiting to hear you elevate your steps. I'm going to be watching you closely because you got my attention. Like, I like what I've heard from you so far. And the main thing that excites me about your music is the potential of growth. So I honor you by saying this to close out the interview. A man is only known by the people he inspires. And I pray to see people sing your songs, rap your lines, and then share them with their children as they age. Because one thing about healing and another thing about growth, it only matters if you take it onto your soul and live the message you were given if you abide by it. You feel me? And that's what I pray for your music. I want you to be the artist that someone says one day, that person took me to my next level, and you are the stepping stone that elevates the culture in somebody's life to their next level. So I give you that respect.
Salute.
Any last words you want to say to the people?
Man, the golden age out right now. Shout out DJ K7ng for producing the project, and appreciate you having me on the platform, brother.
Hey man, anytime. Like I said, man, if you make good music, we can have a conversation. If that shit was whack, you would not be here today. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? So everybody out there, thank you for listening and watching the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. It is a pleasure to speak to my brother again. He already gave his last words. I can't even say what I want to say to you right now because I forgot how to say that shit. You know what I'm about to say, right?
Nah, man. Probably a lyric though.
Nah. It's I just say Kumya Sharala. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna leave it just like that.
No doubt.
Baraka Thumb. we out of here. Most house blessings to everybody. Peace. And we out.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here. Real hip hop. For real. Real hip hop.